Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Institute Turboplasma Rifle mod, which is being made by user Scale, and what this glorious little piece of work looks at into the game is a new energy-based weapon for the Institute to enjoy, and that of course is the Turboplasma Rifle, and I love this thing. It is a pretty cool gun. I really like the reload animation on it, which we'll have a look at here in a moment, and considering I sided with the Institute in my main save file, it's always nice seeing more guns for my faction. But yeah, so let's take a look at what you do get with this particular weapon, and the most standard version of the Institute Turboplasma Rifle will do 26 physical and 26 energy damage using plasma cartridges, with a firing rate of 35, range of 119, accuracy of 154, and a weight of 4.6, and all in all, it's a pretty interesting looking rifle. It does kind of feel a little bit basic, but to me it seems like something that the Institute would make, other than, you know, the bulky designed Institute guns we currently have. So I very much like this, that it's a bit more slimmed down than the typical Institute weaponry, and that's a nice thing. Now, it doesn't have a huge number of modifications, but you still can mess around with it to create something like this recoil compensated fiery version, which doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it's fully automatic and, well, will light stuff on fire, and I always enjoy lighting stuff on fire, so that's a good thing. And then we also have this sniper version here, which does the most damage I've been able to get out of this gun with the modifications, which isn't a huge amount, 64 on the physical and 64 on the energy, but I mean, yeah, it's still a decent amount of damage for at least mid-game. So let's have a look at the modifications we do have over here at the weapon workbench. And so let's jump in here and look at the capacitor settings, and pretty standard sort of capacitors in here, going from the standard to beta wave, boosted, photon agitator, gamma, etc., all the way up to the overcharge, which will do the most damage and improve ammo capacity. Always good. We then have the barrel category, with the typical things for the energy-based weapons, for the barrel to change it from standard sort of single shot to fully automatic sniping, and then of course improved versions of those barrels to up pretty much all the stats in regard to whatever it's wanting to do, and that's a good thing. We then have the stock category with only 3 things in here: the standard, the marksman, and then the recoil compensating stock, which is basically identical to the marksman, but hey, at least it does change the stats, which is nice at least. And then finally the sights, where we have a short scope, reflex sight, medium scope, long scope, and then short to long versions of the night vision. And that is it for the modifications. I'd like to see a few more things in here, but for what it is, you know what, it's a decent enough set of options that can let you change it to a variety of different weapon types, which is always a good thing. So let's take some shots with this thing and see how it performs. And here is the standard version, which actually a pretty nice little reflex sight on it. I do enjoy it, so let's take some shots. And as you can see, pretty good firing rate on it, not the best. My favorite part though, like I was saying earlier, is the reload. Now the actual reload isn't that special, but what I like is the little, oh god, I don't even know what to call it, just the bit that opens up to expose the energy cell. That's cool, and then boom, it goes right back. I just like that extra little detail. It's just very cool to see that open and closing every time you do reload. But yes, that is the standard gun. Not a huge amount of recoil, so it is pretty easy to operate. So let's go take a look at the fully automatic one, which is the exact opposite of that on the recoil front, even with the recoil compensated stock there. Oh boy, this one likes to fly around. So I'm going to start there at the base of the water and fire a full plasma cartridge. And there we go, we got all the way up to that cloud without doing any compensation. And with trying to compensate, you can see the spread on this thing is crazy. Now, of course, down sight you're doing a bit better, but it is actually pretty difficult to control. So hitting anything at medium range even with this automatic plasma gun here is gonna be a bit difficult. Possible, but difficult. And then, of course, we have the marksman version I made here with the scope. And, I mean, it's pretty much the same as the standard version, just it does more damage and shoots a lot farther and more accurately. So yeah, those are the different versions that I was able to create with the modifications. So let's go and test them out on some live test subjects over here. Of course, our usuals being good old Will and Randy. So we'll go after Will first. And let's line up a shot, and goodbye, my dog friend. There we go. One shot with this did take him down, and considering 64 physical and 64 energy, that's not too surprising in the slightest. So let's go to the automatic version and chase down Randy with this one and see how this one does against him. Hi Randy, how are you today? Bye-bye. Alright, so it took a few more shots, but he is on fire slightly. And he's not on fire anymore. And yeah, I'm cool with that. I always do like when a gun will set something on fire. It's wonderful. But yeah, that's really all there is to talk about with this mod. It's a pretty cool little addition. Again, I wish there were more modifications for it, but all in all, it's a competent gun, and I think a good addition to the Institute armory, and a fun gun I see myself enjoying quite a bit. So if you'd like to have a look at it yourself, which I would definitely recommend you go and do, you can take a look at the link in the description as per usual. But that's gonna be it for today. I hope you all have enjoyed, and that you do come back for the next episode when hopefully we'll be looking at yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.